Welcome to the Social University podcast. We are so glad you're joining us today because we want to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and people just like you who want to build their business online. Listen, if we can do it, you can do it. So let's go.
Good morning. I'm Karen Taradas with Social U, and it is time for What's Up Wednesday, where we come to you live every Wednesday morning with social media tips, tricks, and trends, 10 a.m. Central. Today we're talking about, what are we talking about today? Wow, that was short-lived. Oh, hook, line, and scroll, how to write copy to get people to stop scrolling. And some of it's copy, some of it's graphics, but you have a very small window. Like research on dwell time for social media platforms will tell you that users tend to spend seconds, sometimes a fraction of a second before they decide if or when they're going to look at something. The exact duration varies based on the platform itself, and there are several factors that influence their decision. Facebook's probably got the shortest lifespan. Like a post on Facebook lasts for something crazy like 2 to 6 hours, which is, again, crazy. So getting your audience to stop scrolling, it's a big deal. And engaging with your content is, of course, the ultimate goal. So let's talk about 10 strategies that will help you achieve that. First and foremost, you have to have an irresistible hook. A hook is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's that quick sentence that gets people to stop. It's to grab attention immediately with a bold or thought-provoking or curiosity-provoking statement or visual dynamic. Normally, you have about 3 seconds max to get somebody's attention. So in order to do that, especially since short-form video has become so popular, get to the point. Don't meander. Don't, like what I just did on Facebook Live, that's not going to cut it on a regular short video. You can't just, hey, my name is, we're here to talk. Get to the point. And the graphic has to be good enough to get people's attention. And sometimes if it's bad, it also gets attention, which is you're going in the wrong direction. But you want to use a headline or a text overlay that promises a benefit or sparks intrigue. And for those of you guys who are watching this morning, we actually have a very cool download. It's 100 hooks that work. And if you come back to the blog, we'll make sure to link it in the blog, but just a free download. So for those of you guys who might be interested. So I love that. And they're broken down into categories like emotional versus question versus time sensitive. There's a bunch of different versions. So number 2, you want to ask a question in the first line. Questions do really well. You engage your audience from the very beginning by making the post more interactive. And the best way to do that is just start the caption with a question. What do you think? What's the one thing? How have you ever considered? What's the worst mistake? There are so many story times on short videos that start with worst mistakes or story times where they ask you a question. Tell me about the worst thing that you've ever experienced at work, or tell me about the worst thing you've experienced in customer service. It happens with a question. Number 3 would be to incorporate. Well, that sounds wrong. It's not. It sounds wrong. Dynamic visuals, especially in video, you have to leverage the power of the motion. So video consistently outperforms static images on every single platform. So knowing that ahead of time, you have to make dynamic video. It's got to be good. Some of the, of course, best versions of this, Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, quick cuts, trending music, text overlay. Even if it's simple, it will get you talking to a camera and be more engaging than a static post. And if you practice makes it better. There's no perfect, but practice does make it better. And for someone who, when I started on video, it was so bad. Our beginning video, just a travesty. So don't feel bad. Just get in front of the camera and get started. Okay, number 4, leverage your user-generated content. I say this a lot. You hear me say this often, but people are more likely to stop scrolling for content if it's created by others. If it's somebody who has nothing to gain, they're just talking to you about kind of why they're doing it and why they're here. It's much more transparent, and it tends to feel more authentic, and it makes the brand more trustworthy. I can tell you all day long how great our company is, but when you hear it from somebody else, you're much more likely to believe it. So yeah, user generated. And one of the best ways to do that is to ask for content. Contests work very, very well. You can encourage your users to create and share content with your product or about your services. And that way, once they enter, it gives you the ability to repost. You have to get their consent, but it gives you a lot with positive customer reviews or testimonials. And a lot of people, you just got to ask them. So ask them, do you have an email strategy where you ask clients, what did you think? How did we do? Okay. Number 5, use a compelling story. Storytelling works. It's always going to work. People will listen to you tell a story more than they will listen to you talk about random whatever. So you want to create a narrative that draws the viewer in and makes them want to know more about the outcome. And one of the best ways to do that is to share a personal anecdote, a client success story, how we got here story, background story, just anything about your business's journey or even your product's journey. Okay. Number 6, a clear value proposition. Okay, you have to tell the audience or your audience is fine, but your viewer base, what they're going to get from the post. So again, that to me falls under the category of hook. You've got to get to the point. So today we're going to talk about the 3 worst mistakes you can make in your Instagram bio. Very engaging, quick, and if you are interested in that topic, you're going to stay. Get to the point. Clear value proposition, and one of the easiest ways to do that, again, use captions and headlines that will captivate your audience. That comes right back to hooks. 3 tips that work. 1 hack that will change your workflow. The worst social media send you can make as a business owner. There's so many to choose from, but a really good hook works. 7, again, I'm going to say this over and over, visually stunning graphics. Yes, you have to have visually appealing video. You also have to have visually appealing graphics. And especially if you're not going to use a video, it's got to be better. In this year, right now, it is inexcusable to use a copyright image. It is inexcusable to use something that's pixelated or watermarked. Just don't. Nobody needs to get sued over something they put on Twitter of all crazy things. One of the best ways, of course, to execute this, infographics still present data in a clear way. People love them. They're much more likely to share them. Carousel posts tend to do well. You see where I'm going. Really good posts are going to function really well. Number 8, you want to tap into emotional triggers. Anything that evokes a strong emotion, humor, curiosity, inspiration, empathy, those work. And think about the last thing that you shared. Humor, I'm going to share humor or education over and over and over. That's just me personally. I like funny and I like educational. So those are the things I'm going to share the most. Of course, one of the best ways, again, humor works. If you are not funny, hire someone who's funny. You need funny, and don't be so serious that you miss your opportunity. I'll throw that out there. You definitely want to, if it's heartfelt, that works too. It doesn't always have to be funny, but thought-provoking works, but humor, I'm always going to default to humor. Consistently post at optimal times, and post consistently and post at optimal times. So technically that's a twofer. You have to show up on a regular basis. All of the algorithms will show more of your content to more of your audience if you are consistent. And if I am a loyal follower, I'm more likely to get content that's older if you're posting more consistently, which is kind of a weird thing, but that's how it works, especially on Instagram. So if I'm on Instagram and I look at your stuff every day, not only are they going to give me more of your stuff in my feed, they're going to give me more of your older stuff in my feed. So consistency really, really is rewarded. And you have to figure out what time works for you. Every single social media expert, Sprout Social, Hootsuite, HubSpot, they all have different ideas of ideal. It's going to depend on your industry and your location, period. Some people do really well at 6 a.m. Other, like posting a LinkedIn on your profile at 6 a.m., nobody's going to see that. Or will they? That's what I'm saying. It differs for everybody. So you have to figure out what works for you. And one of the best things I can tell you is test it and check your analytics. So you have to use your social media analytics to identify, I meant to do that, your best performing days and times, and then stick to that and make it more consistent. And then our last tip today. Interactive features encourages anything that encourages participation. And when I say interactive, I mean a quiz, a poll, Q&A. If you're going to ask people to tag a friend, if you're going to ask people to submit their own photos, now you can respond on TikTok with a photo, and people are asking mostly for pet photos, but I mean, you can respond with anything you want to. Drop your thoughts below. Anything that elicits a response is helpful. So that's it for me today. Again, these are some things to get people to stop scrolling and look at your content. It takes so long to create it. You really have to capitalize on it while you can. Join us again next week. We're going to talk about your CTA, your call to action checkup. Are you actually telling people what you need them to do? And even more importantly, are they actually doing it? Are they responding? So please join us for that. And what are we doing for the last week of the month? Let me go look. Oh, turn followers into clients without feeling salesy. I'm not big on salesy. That used car salesman thing, I don't like that at all. So that'll be the last week of August. And I cannot, in my mind, we're already in September, which is crazy to me. Christmas is here. So guess what we're talking about in September? You got it, Christmas and holiday promotions, because if you don't plan ahead, it's like not planning at all. And Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas they come so quickly, you got to be ready. So again, join us next week, CTA checkups. And until then, I'm Karen Toronto from Social You, and we are always here to help. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us for the Social University podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Stay Social You. That's the letter U. And we will talk to you next week. Remember, you've got this.